Life has been exponentially boring. There's not as much like natural excitement. I think that's also a lack of community. I have to make my own goals and achieve them, and I have to like create this structure in my head. But I think I'm just so used to like things happening so rapidly, because you go from like school where everything is set for you, everything is certain. I believe that if I live the dream that I have in my head, it'll just come into reality. Good morning, people. I just got back from the gym. I'm about to clean my AirPods because they get really dirty. I actually do have AirPods cleaner. It's just upstairs and I'm too lazy to get it, so just use hand sanitizer. I'm gonna go ahead and put on my favorite ocean sounds. I swear, these just make me feel alive. I feel like I'm more of a city girl, but these ocean sounds, they do something for me, I swear. Oh my God, it's so loud. But just look how relaxing that is. And like you can see the waves moving. Look at my fridge. Can we talk about how organized I've become? I've been doing my hauls. I've been washing my fruit. I've been packaging everything up. Look at my little carrots. This is the final breakfast. I got myself some orange juice, 2 different bagel spreads, and then I put some strawberries, and we're gonna call it a day. I'm so hungry, and this tastes much better than it probably should. Life has been exponentially boring. And I say that with a grain of salt because I feel like I do have things in my life that are entertaining, and it could very well be my perspective that's making me feel this way. But I think relative to my earlier 20s, my life has just kind of felt like very interesting. It's not necessarily bad, but it's also not necessarily good. I don't really know what to make of it, nor do I know what to do, nor do I have a clue of what's happening next. Like, I am the living, breathing entity of uncertainty right now. I've been struggling with accepting how like normal and mundane life is right now. There's not something that is going to happen for sure. Everything that is going to happen is going to be my doing, or maybe the universe wants to throw something my way. I mean, more than welcome. I'm just having that realization, and it kind of sucks. Like, it kind of sucks to be an adult or maybe feel this way, because I don't think being an adult has to be this way or has to feel this way. But right now my life just feels slower. There's not a lot going on, but I think I'm just so used to like things happening so rapidly, because you go from like school, like grade school, where everything is set for you, everything is certain. Really, if anything, it's you who's setting things off course. As you move from grade school to college, there's a little bit of uncertainty, but there's still like things in place to help you succeed. And then when you graduate college, you probably got set up by your college to like do something, hopefully. Maybe not. Maybe this is the beginning of a lot of uncertainty for a lot of people, but things get a little bit like shaky. Like, okay, I really have to figure things out. But you still might have your friends from school. You still might have like the internship or the job that you worked hard for in college. So like there's a little bit more cushion. And then it gets to this point where like later 20s, like things are, at least for me, just fucking went off the rails. Like not in a terrible way, but like I did a 180 for sure. Like, if you haven't seen my video about me quitting my job or starting freelance, you won't know that I basically said F everything I was doing. I dropped out of my MBA program. I quit my job in the middle of COVID. I had no clue what to do next, and I found freelance kind of by accident, and I didn't really get successful in it until I decided to stop creating content. Because when I quit my job, I was like, I'm gonna be a content creator. Or back then I really wanted to be an influencer. Like, I really wanted to like have the lifestyle of an influencer. And now it's kind of changed. Like, I don't really want just like stuff and status. I want to create art, like in my own version. Back then, that's really what I wanted, but I did freelancing just to survive. I had to have like a heart-to-heart with myself that like influencing thing, just like something wasn't working about it. So that's when I got really involved into freelance, and I started taking it seriously. And it was really successful. I've always known I wanted to do my own thing. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, start my own business. I've always wanted to create content all day, every day. And now, like a few months ago, I decided like I'm gonna actually say no to my biggest client and say no to any freelance income, actually take a chance on myself, start my own business, and be a full-time content creator. My business is basically most content creation. And then there's also a part where I consult people on their own content or their social media strategy, things like that, because I was a social media freelancer before. It's been a whirlwind, but not just like job and career wise. I just feel like my friend group is different. I feel like how I feel about friends is different. There's not as much like natural excitement. I think that's also a lack of community. I've been working from home for 2 years. I really don't talk to many people, which I kind of like, but I think naturally that just gives you this feeling of like you're isolated, and it doesn't create natural excitement unless you just provide that every single day. And I'm a naturally like positive, I think relatively happy person. I'm also very emotional, and I can be very like emo and get in my head. It's just been hard to create that like life is exciting, romanticize things like I used to. Like I was the queen of that. These days when there's like not much set for me, like I have to create it. I also gave myself the gift of like wild uncertainty, quitting my job, living off savings right now again. I don't have like a huge customer base. I don't have a huge audience. I don't have many things. I believe that if I live the dream that I have in my head, it'll just come into reality. It's a long shot, but I still feel like it's possible. And I think working for people was just distracting me a lot. Really, the money I want to be making is through what I love to do. I have this thing where I say I want to get paid to live. And I think everybody should get paid to live because we all have special, unique talents and gifts that I feel like everyone can do exactly what they want to do and get paid to do it somehow if they take the time to discover it and monetize it. And for me, it's this, but it's also scary because I have to make my own, what do you call it, like landmarks. I have to make my own goals and achieve them, and I have to like create this structure in my head, or there's not going to be one. I do think things like fall into place, and I feel aligned with things, and like the universe moves me in ways that I should be going. And when I think about it, everything that's been good in my life has happened like on accident. It's never been like I'm intending to have this friendship or intending to have this relationship, and that's the relationship or friendship or job or achievement that I end up like loving the most and like it's the most fulfilling. It's always things that come to me that I find the most like insanely beautiful, fulfilling, whatever. For instance, by posting on social media, I've made friends. I've attracted a talent manager who has like almost the same life as me, who I love. Not only were we work together well, like for content creation and her being my talent manager, but we're also really good friends now. And it's like, I would have never been able to craft that. So sometimes you just have to let things be crafted for you. You don't have to put in too much effort. And that's really hard for someone who's like, I am also, whereas I believe things will happen for me, I also do love working. I do love to work hard. And I thought, okay, because I won't have my job taking up my time anymore, I can really work hard, and like more work, more time will yield more output and more success. But it just doesn't work that way. And it's so hard to accept because you think you can control it. Like if I put in more hours or work, if I post more content, I will get more results. No matter how much time or posts or whatever you put into something, you still have to figure it out over time. You still have to get your golden strategy or your business idea or your team or whatever, that perfect team or perfect whatever still has to happen over time. So it doesn't matter how much you put into it, the output just may be variable, and that's just the reality, and it kind of sucks. It's officially midday and I need to get some work done. So let's create a digital product that I've been working on. Let's finish it. Technically this week I've given myself a vacation because I was overworking myself last week again. More input, not necessarily more output. And I think I was kind of hitting like a creative roadblock. And I was like, you know what? I think I need a break because I haven't given myself a break since I quit my job back in May, and it is June. One could argue, are you still working? You're on vacation technically. But the problem is what I want to do for work and what I consider work is also my hobbies. I just like creating things, whether it's like graphics or videos. I just enjoy it. I just enjoy doing it. So instead of doing it like I typically do, like I have been doing super rushed, just like frantic work, I'm just taking my time. I'm just chilling. It's almost like a creative passion project for me, even though I do want to have this as like a freebie. What I've been working on so far, this is gonna be a freebie that I'm gonna give out later, which I'm kind of excited about. It's basically different ways you can stand out as a creator, and it gives you examples and just like tips to stand out on TikTok and Instagram Reels. So I've been working on this for a little bit. I have a little course that I have been doing called the Content Bootcamp, and this is one of the freebies you get in the course. Keep the quality, my shorty back. You know she
She want mine when she tattoo that ass. I'm a lover boy. She love the toys. Keep it coming, you a rider. Just that romance.
Okay, still working on this. I'm almost done, but I kept getting distracted because literally I'm like tagging and plugging in TikToks and I keep watching them. So I'm almost finished with it, and this is how it's coming along. I'm liking it so far. The sun is so bright behind me, but this is my OOTD. I got this set from Beyond Yoga, and I got it a few years ago, and it never stops being super soft, super comfy. I think I'm gonna put on some perfume because I'm feeling a little funky post gym, but I need to shower later because I'm gonna go to the gym again for date night. So I'm gonna put on some perfume and then I'm gonna head out. I was rushing out, but she's late too, so we're good to go.
I go. Would you tell the world my secrets if I let you close? Feel my face. Action. These days, no, my aim. Niggas be blasting. Living in the mix, though. This shit might drive you mad. Feeling pretty mixed up. But this life shit ain't no bad. Bloody, blood, and murder. There ain't no second chances.
Okay, well that went longer than I expected. We got poke, we got boba, delish. It's literally 4 o'clock. I came here at 12. And this is why I can't hang out with people, because I just talk way too much. It's not giving mysterious. It's not giving Pisces. This is what I'm talking about. I feel like I just need more friendship and just like novelty in my life. I get re-inspired about the things that I am passionate about, which is good, because during this break I felt really down because I feel super lost and confused about what I want to be doing and like how my content program should be structured for my business, or just like what I want to create content about. I'm just like not feeling good at anything, and I'm feeling really unsure about content, like kind of being an expert or like someone to teach people about it. But talking to her like just reminded me, because she got inspired about ideas that I was giving her, and I got inspired about what I was saying to her. So I think I'm gonna make a TikTok right now about it while I'm feeling jazzed up.
Live how you wanna, spit what you wanna, be who you wanna be. A young stunner till I die. You can do what you wanna. Live how you wanna, spit what you wanna, be who you wanna be. I'm stunner till I die.
We're off to date night at Lifetime. We're gonna do a little sauna. Ooh, it looks so breezy. We're gonna do a little sauna, steam room, hot tub, even though we don't need to be any hotter than we are right now. We're back home from Lifetime. I couldn't take you guys in the locker room and stuff completely, but now I'm making myself a little dinner. I made some tofu, so I'm gonna heat it up and we're gonna watch a little YouTube together. This is my little mixture. I'm literally balancing my camera on a bag of bagels right now. Let's end the night off with some tea and disregard my hair. She's out. I'm getting it done tomorrow and I don't want to hear it. I feel like I'm being called to just be patient in this period of my life. I've concluded that this season of my life, basically the next 6 months, is going to be my gap year, but for adulting and working instead of school. I cannot craft these good moments in my life. They usually just come to me. So I know when I'm getting impatient, the answer is literally to do nothing. I'm realizing that I can't try hard and get what I want. I have to like almost relax into it. And that's kind of difficult because I really wanted to grind on my craft, but I think I'm gonna have to do a slower grind. Actually take this time to like have fun, like do what I want before I enter maybe a new part of my business or a new era of my business that is like actually worth me putting in the effort and time. Right now it's so slow that it doesn't really make sense for me to work harder. And I have to realize that failure and change is just redirection. Basically my vacation this week is stemming from the fact that last week I decided to try to output more. I decided to post more TikTok. I decided to have more things done, put out more digital products, have more services. I think I almost pushed way too hard that it burned me out. Am I even meant to be doing this? Because nothing's working. But I think it's showing me that how I'm approaching posting or content or my business or whatever is not ideal. And I always think about this because every time I take a break when I'm like frustrated and I have a big breakdown, I'm like, you know what? The way I was doing it, if I would have continued down that route, I would have hated how that would have been. If I just say I did get success, right? I was putting out more TikToks. I was doing like 10 times a day. If I actually got the results I was looking for, posting 10 times a day, that means I would have to post 10 times a day. If it wasn't working, like if I was struggling in the beginning, I would probably be struggling in the end. And it's the same metaphor with my business. So it's probably better that I failed at this, like that method failed me, because now I feel like I can actually create a work schedule and a life that's more appealing to my future self and to myself right now. This year might need to be more like fun, relax, travel with the little money I have, and not feel like the money is gonna run out. I think that was the difference between when I quit my job the first time. I was so happy-go-lucky, even though I had a worse situation. I had $6,000 and I lived by myself and paid for everything by myself. And now I'm in a better situation and I feel more scarcity than I did before. Back then, I always thought the money would come back. I don't know why, but now I feel like I have to reserve every last penny I have because the money's gonna run out and I'm not gonna get it back. It's not just that it's gonna run out, but I'm not gonna get it back. And that's the total opposite of what I typically think and preach. So I don't know how that like seeped into my brain. I think I need to start living as if the money will come back. And that's hard to do when you feel like you don't have much to survive off of. But the worst case scenario, I just go back and freelance. And I don't know why that's so hard for me to like tell myself, because usually I would be on that train anyway. Adulting changes you, I'm telling you. I just have to believe that everything is gonna work out. There's no rush. There's literally nothing to rush to. When I have the life I want, I will look back at these times and cherish it. So there's literally nothing to be rushing toward. What I picture my dream life being is what I'm doing now, but just having a more stable income. I should be enjoying this period of my life. Like, this is a good part of my life, even though it's slower and nothing's happening. It's actually a better version of what I'd be doing later because I don't have the pressure. I probably won't be as busy as I will in the future. I have more time now. Like, I probably won't have as much time. So this is actually the good part. And you have to think, and for me, I'm saying you, but me, you have to think in terms of like everything is already worked out. Like, I'm just almost like living my life in reverse. It's almost like if you were to live your life again, how would you have worked if you knew that that job would end? Like, if you knew everything would come to an end, how would you do it? Oh, if I'm gonna make $1 million in a few years, what the heck is like me going on vacation when I'm like kind of broke? What does that really affect? Like, it's still okay. Like, it will be okay. I will figure it out. And I always think back to the moments where I was basically from the age like 8 or 9 to 17. I didn't necessarily enjoy life. Like, I lived at home. I didn't really do much. I didn't get out. Like, the lifestyle I have now is definitely not the lifestyle I had as a kid. It wasn't just like the awkwardness of growing up. It was school. We had to be in school all day. We had to like do stuff all day, and we were forced to be in like situations, wake up super early, interact with kids and we may have liked or didn't like. Now my life is more, I have more control over it, and freedom is like really important to me. Most of those years, they were like, nothing happened. I wasn't productive. I didn't necessarily have things going on. I wasn't achieving so much, but those were still part of my life. And it's okay that I didn't achieve so much in those years because I did later in my life. So it's the same situation. Just because I'm not achieving stuff in this slow period of my life, or it feels like I'm not achieving stuff, does not mean that the rest of my life I'm not going to be doing something. When I was employed for other people, or I worked for other people, or I worked in corporate, I had slow periods and everything was fine. I didn't judge the slow periods. I actually enjoyed it because I didn't have to do something I didn't want to do. I thought when I have my own business, things will be different because I can always put how much time and effort I want into something. I can control that. But I think the slow periods were because every business, every entity, everything naturally has slow periods. So that's the point. Basically, that doesn't change because I'm working for myself. And my last point is that I'm living a unique life right now, and I think that's actually a really good thing. I don't think it's something I should try to rush or be ashamed of. I think this is something I've dreamed of my whole life. It's just minus the certainty and income, but it is still the dream life. And I have to remind myself of that because ideally in the future, I'd be doing the same thing with just cash or more certainty or a team, or, you know, living in my ideal ideal spot, but I can still do all the same things now. And I'm getting to do what I love with more time and less pressure to do it. So I think it was just my perspective in general that needed changing. And I feel like I'm at the end of my vacation week, and I'm starting to realize that nothing necessarily has to change physically with my content or my business. I think I just need to change my perspective on it and take things a little bit slower and like actually embrace the slow, like make it a vacation year. This year is going to be a playground for me. I'm gonna head to bed and probably edit some videos, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Good night.